What's good, everybody? This is Brant, and you're watching the Classic Physique Collective, your home for everything Classic Physique. That's previews, highlights, podcasts, and more. Today, I'm going to be talking about two of the biggest rising stars in men's Classic Physique. That's Ramon Dino out of Brazil and Urs, the Miracle Bear, out of Germany. Let's get to it. What's going on, guys? Before we get started with this video, make sure you go show the channel some love. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. We are very close to 500 subscribers. I would really appreciate the support. And you can also find my tag down here in the bottom left corner. That is at CPC Bodybuilding. Make sure you guys go check me out on Instagram, covering all the latest Classic Physique content there as well. So today we're going to talk about the rivalry between Urs and Ramon. These guys, in every show they have done together, placed back to back. These guys are crazy talented. Both have insane genetics, great work ethics, and are ambassadors for the sport. So when did this rivalry all begin? So it all goes back to the 2021 Mr. Olympia in Classic Physique, when Ramon and Urs made their debuts as rookies in the IFBB Pro League. So how did they get to the Olympia that year? Urs took the traditional route of getting to the Olympia. Urs won the Tampa Pro, in which he beat a couple of guys who went on to qualify for the O in later years. So Urs beat some very solid competition at the Tampa Pro and qualified for the Olympia that year. Ramon took a bit of an unconventional route to get there. He didn't win a show. He actually placed second at the Europa Pro behind Fabian Meyer, who placed 8th at that same Olympia that year. And then Ramon, having not won a show, qualified off of points back when the point system was still going. We don't have the point system as of this year for the Olympia, so you have to now win a show in order to qualify for the men's Classic Physique Olympia or place in the top 3 in the previous year's Olympia. Both Ramon and Urs placed in the top 3, so we're already going to see these guys at next year's Olympia, even if neither of them win a show. But at that 2021 Mr. Olympia, Urs placed 4th and Ramon placed 5th. And a lot of people were wondering, who are the guys that are rivaling Chris Bumstead potentially in the future? Both of these guys were new on the scene, rookies, big frames, and could stand next to Chris Bumstead. Though they may not be able to compare in terms of muscularity, they certainly have the shape and the genetics and the potential, given that they are both younger than Chris Bumstead. And this 2021 Olympia really showed that the future is bright in Classic Physique, which makes me excited and should make you guys excited as well. So at that 2021 Mr. Olympia, Urs placed 4th and Ramon placed 5th. Now, it was a very close decision. Both guys received a mix of 3rd, 4th, and 5th place votes along with Breon Ansley. If you were to go look at the scorecard, which I'll put up right here, we see that Urs's score does not perfectly sum to 20, meaning that he got some different votes in there that were not just 4th place. Same thing with Ramon. So Urs got 22 points, Ramon got 23. They were separated by just 1 point, which is very rare to see. It means it was extremely close. Now, we saw something different later when we saw them meet at the 2022 Arnold Classic in March. Urs, though placing ahead of Ramon at the 2021 Olympia, was defeated by Ramon by unanimous decision. Ramon took 2nd place with a perfect score behind Terrence Ruffin, and Urs placed in 3rd with a score of 15 points. You guys can see that in the scorecard right here. So Ramon and Urs, though they placed back to back, Ramon certainly showed in the judges' eyes that he was the clear winner on that day at the Arnold Classic. And again, at this year's 2022 Mr. Olympia, we saw something similar. Chris Bumstead, again, won his 4th consecutive title, but Ramon was in a lone call out with Chris Bumstead. Urs did not get that same attention. He was in the call out with all the other guys who made first call out. However, I believe that because Ramon was so dominant that day, he got in that call out with Chris Bumstead. He was so much further than the guys from 3rd through 5th that they had separate call outs. That goes to show that Ramon is starting to really figure out the formula. And though I do believe Urs has improved quite a bit, the fact that Ramon finished in 2nd with a perfect score over Urs, who finished in 3rd with a perfect score, meaning that Urs didn't get any 2nd place votes. Ramon is definitely improving at a dangerous rate, and Urs really has to watch out. What do I think we're going to see here at this 2023 Arnold Classic just a few months after the Mr. Olympia? You'll have to stay tuned for my predictions, but I do believe that Urs and Ramon will place 1st and 2nd. Who places 1st and wins the Arnold Classic, I'm not going to say now, but it very well could be either one of these guys. Is it hard to make improvements show to show? Absolutely. And do I think the vote is going to be unanimous from the judges? I haven't decided yet, guys. But what I know is I'm really excited about this rivalry, and you guys should be too, because these guys stack up so well. Though they have very different physiques, these guys are both the future of classic physique, and I believe that both of these guys could be Mr. Olympia someday. Keep in mind that Ramon and Urs are both younger than Chris Bumstead. Both have been bodybuilding for less time than Chris Bumstead. Ramon is 26 years old and has only been a bodybuilder competitively for about 3 years. Urs has been competing for longer, but is younger. Urs is only 23 years old, I believe. He could be 24. I could be wrong there, but he's either 23 or 24 years old, so even younger than Ramon. So I think the future is extremely bright for these guys. We're going to throw up the infographic here, give a comparison. So we've got Ramon out of Brazil, Urs out of Germany. And like I said, Ramon has placed ahead of Urs twice, and Urs has placed ahead of Ramon once at that 2021 Mr. Olympia, their first matchup. Their best Olympia placings were this past year when Ramon took 2nd, Urs took 3rd. And like I said, these guys both have big frames. I think they're both about 5'11". So what they bring to the stage is very different inherently. What Ramon brings is density, fullness, and roundness. If Ramon shows up in top conditioning, which he always does, Chris Aceto always brings him in shape, he's very, very hard to beat because he's just so round, bubbly, and full, and just has a lot of pop to his muscle. I think that's what really makes him stand out from a lot of guys. Now, what Urs really, really does well is he has a very big frame, and I think is most comparable to Chris Bumstead. You'll hear that from a lot of people, simply because he has width that is not matched by very many people, especially in the lats and the quad sweeps. He also has very wide clavicles. And Urs is the 2nd best poser in the entire IFBB Pro League, not just classic physique, only behind one of the GOATs, Terrence Ruffin. So I think these guys bring very, very different strengths, but also kind of attack each other's weak points with their strengths. Urs is very wide in the lats, and it ties in very nicely with his small waist. And it's accentuated with his quad sweep, so he has a very nice hourglass shape. However, Ramon, though he is a thicker guy, he doesn't necessarily have the width in the lats that you see with Urs. Does Ramon lack lats a lot? I personally don't think so. Some people, like Bob Ciccarillo, always make it a talking point, but here's what I say. If Ramon has continually finished 2nd in the Arnold Classic and the Olympia over guys who have big lats, I don't think his lats are that big of a weakness. That's just my opinion, to each his own. And then, though Urs has a very wide frame, he's not very dense in the upper body. He's very dense in the lower body. But if you see him on the side chest pose, there's a lot of density that's kind of missing from the torso as well as the arms. Not necessarily the deltoids, because Urs has great shoulders. But I do think in that side chest, which is Ramon's best pose, he really shows Erz's weaknesses when they stand next to each other. So I think where Erz really shines is anything that's a front or a back pose. It really shows how his lats tie into his waist very nicely and shows his width. Whereas that kind of exposes Ramon in the sense that he might be dense, but he doesn't necessarily have the width that Erz has. So these guys have very complementary physiques, and that's what I think makes their matchup so intriguing, especially because they've placed back and forth, and it's been such a battle every time. It seems like you could almost just flip a coin and pick one of these guys and be right. That's how random it seems sometimes. But we have seen the trend favor Ramon recently. Will we see that again? I want you guys to go down in the comments and tell me who you think is going to win that 2023 Arnold Classic. Ramon, Dino, or Erz the Miracle Bear? Do it right now. That's going to do it for the video today, guys. If you see the shirt that I've got on, I will be releasing Classic Physique Collective shirts as well as hoodies coming soon, so stay tuned for that. I'll have a pre-order link in the description. That's a Google Doc. You're going to need your Instagram username because I have to verify that you are a real person in order for me to order you a shirt. So I'll have that in the description. Meanwhile, stay tuned for more Arnold Classic content. We're 3 weeks out, and it's only going to get better from here, guys. I want to thank you all for watching the Classic Physique Collective. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Follow me on Instagram at CPC Bodybuilding. That's going to do it, guys. Make sure you keep it classic. See ya.